So what is the process of becoming a saint? How does one become a saint? That's all of our common vocations. You know, some people might be priests, some people might get married, some people might be sisters or live the single life vocation, but all of our vocation is to be holy, and all of our vocations is to be a saint. So how does one actually become a saint? Well, the first thing that has to happen is you have to die. Like, you can't be alive and be a saint. You can live like a saint while you're alive, but you're not going to be officially a saint until you're dead. So step one is you gotta die. Once you're dead, some time has to pass. Because a lot of times if someone passes away, there's a lot of emotion that comes into play. People might say like, oh, this guy was the holiest person ever. But it really is just because they're so sad because he passed away, or she passed away. So some time has to pass. 5 years needs to go by after they've died. And then after 5 years, someone has to bring a petition to the local bishop, the bishop of where that person lived, and ask the bishop if he would be willing to start the process for canonization for this person. If the bishop agrees to this sentiment, then that person officially becomes declared servant of God, and then the process for investigation can be opened. After that, what they do is there's a little team in the Vatican that will focus on this person. They'll study anything that they wrote. They will look at any interviews that they said, anything that was recorded, and they are trying to see whether or not this person lived with heroic virtue, that they did the best they could to be holy in everything that they said. Also, nothing that they said was against church teaching, because that would be a big red flag. So let's say they do that investigation, they see that this person did the best that they could to be holy, to live with heroic virtue, then they can give them 2 thumbs up, and they will be declared venerable. Now at this point, they're on step 2. Now here's where it gets a little bit harder to progress. Because in order to move from venerable to the next one, blessed, you need one official documented miracle from heaven. This type of miracle usually happens with a healing. Usually there's a person who is terminally ill, very close to death, and there's nothing that the doctors can do to save that person. And then someone prays for the intercession of a venerable, and only a venerable. It can't be anybody else. Well, you can go straight to God, but the only saint that you can choose is the venerable. And if there is a healing there, that venerable might get credit for the assist of the miracle. And then again, that information gets sent to the Vatican and they investigate it. If everything checks out, all things seem good, that person will be granted the blessed status, which is stage 3 of the canonization process. At this point, once someone is blessed, the church is almost 100% sure they're in heaven. They may be 100% sure that they're in heaven, and actually, churches and schools can be even named after this person, which is pretty cool. Now, lastly, what has to happen to finish the climb to the mountain is one more miracle. One more miracle from heaven while they're on the blessed status. The same process needs to be repeated from before, again, and if that happens, they will be officially granted saint status, and then you can invoke their intercession all the time. And what they do is they'll take your prayer directly to Christ himself, because they're already in communion with Christ in heaven, which is hopefully where we're going to be too when we pass away.